As I said, I'm not excluded. You're not excluded. Ain't none of us excluded from this. Think about it. Moses told Moses, hey, he came down to prove us. And we walked around the wilderness for 40 years until every last one of the adults died. And y'all, Joshua and Caleb, the only adults to go into the promised land. And the children that we had, that wicked Israelites thinking they gonna sacrifice in the fire. But no, he let them go in to the promised land. Every adult he killed. But y'all got y'all number in the kingdom already. Because y'all be talking about when you get in the kingdom, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't even know what number you are of the 144,000 or even of the 1/3. We don't know. He said, dare not make thyself one of the number. To be there, you're saying that you're righteous. That's not a good thing in the eyes of the Most High. You better stay with those that are not righteous in your mind and what you're saying, to be humble. Otherwise, if you know what number you are, let me know. Ain't nobody gave me no number for over 20 years. What number they are of the 144,000? What number are they as they're gonna be doing the things that they said they're gonna be doing in the kingdom to whoever? Y'all better understand, man. We in these last days, and it's time to wake up out of sleep. You're still in sleep in that aspect. Because you're putting yourself somewhere where the Most High said, don't dare make yourself one of the number. And you know that. I'm talking to you leaders. All you that call yourself somebody in this wicked hell that we in. And those under you is worse than you. We gotta wake up, man. Our people still don't know the law. They still don't know. The fact of the matter is, the first thing we need to be teaching the people is to fear the Most High. But how you going to fear the Most High if you can't go in this Bible and show the reason why you should fear him for what he says? You represent him, you better go in there and show. First and foremost, the Most High come before anything. Understand this. What come before the Most High? Even with the truth, it say the Most High of truths. He still put the Most High before the truth. He wrote the truth. With his finger, the work of the Most High. You better hear what he's saying, man. So, then the temple, I digress. But I'm just fervent because of certain things I've been shown and asking for guidance. All I ask for guidance. That's all I want is guidance for the nation. That's all. Everything else will fall in place as it's supposed to fall in place. Can't do nothing that the Most High don't want it to happen anyway, can you? I digress. Verse 49, to offer burnt sacrifices upon it, according as it is expressly commanded in the book of Moses, the man of the Most High. See? This is what they were doing. And there were gathered unto them, verse 50, out of the other nations of the land, and they erected the altars upon his own place, because all the nations of the land were at enmity with them. That means they had war with us and oppressed them. They oppressed we, the Israelites. And they offered sacrifice according to the time and burnt offerings to the Most High both morning and evening. Also, they held the Feast of Tabernacles. This is what we're getting ready for. The 7th month, here it is, the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is commanded in the law, and offered sacrifice daily as was meet. All right. And after that, the continual oblations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of the holy feasts. See, this is what we did. Like we rehearsing now, coming back to the understanding of how we're supposed to be as a people, keeping the Most High's feast days, and this new moon, which should be the new months, the first day of the month, the new months, when the month began, in this holy days. And we have days that we say we're going to honor and celebrate. When we got the victory of our enemies, like y'all celebrate 4th of July and so forth. You was enslaved, Israelites, since July 4th, 1776. Where was you at? What kind of partying you was dealing with? You was the party. Come in and take any one of you, man, woman, child, chicken, cows, whatever. That was their 4th of July. And now you celebrating like it's something. Getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving, which is Thanksgiving. What not given? Everything was taken. What was given on Thanksgiving? Y'all call it Thanksgiving. What was given? What not given? Everything was taken. But y'all gonna celebrate it like it's something holy. Ask you what's the holy days of the Most High? He said, these my feast days. Supposed to honor him. What are they? Name them. Like you could name all these holidays that they set up in this world. It's a shame, man. When you think about it, it's hard. It's hardening, you know, because people don't care. That's the problem. People don't care enough. It's going to be, like, I'm not sure it's going to be welling and gnashing of teeth. You don't want everybody to hear this. That's why I'm crying out to those that's going to hear, but if you don't hear it, you ain't called. Many are called, but few are chosen. We called, but we ain't chosen till you endure to the end. And the end not here yet. Listen. And they held the Feast of Tabernacles. This is in the 7th month. As it is commanded in the law. And offered sacrifices daily as was meet or right. And after that, the continual oblations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of all holy feasts. See? Think about this. And all that they had made any vow, and all they that had made any vow to the Most High began to offer sacrifices to the Most High from the first day of the 7th month, which is what? The Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets. And the new moon. See? From the first day of the 7th month, although the temple of the Most High was not yet built. And they gave unto the masons, which are the builders of the brick, and carpenters, those that were dealing with the wood, money. Not no cattle or no crops or nothing. They gave them money. We always had money. Even in the time of Moses, we had money. Meat and drink with cheerfulness. You hear that? With cheerfulness. Glad to give it up. Unto them of Sidon also and Tyre they gave cars, that they should bring cedar trees from Lebanon, which should be brought by floats to the haven of Jaffa, floating them in the sea, according as it was commanded them by Cyrus, king of the Persians. See? Building the temple. The best of the best. The best gold, the best silver, and everything that we needed in the temple to make it right before the Most High. Man. And in the 2nd year, and 2nd month, after his coming to the temple of the Most High at Jerusalem, began Zerubbabel, the one that won the victory, saying the truth, and then women are the greatest above the king and wine. Zerubbabel, the son of Salathiel, and Yahushua, the son of Joseph, and his brethren, and the priests, and the Levites, and all they that were come unto Jerusalem out of the captivity. Hear that? Out of Jerusalem, out of the captivity. We're in the captivity under these people. Like we're in captivity right now. And they laid the foundation of the house of the Most High in the first day of the 2nd month. The first day of the 2nd month, which is what? The new moon, the new month. The first day of the 2nd month is the new moon, or the new month, first day of the month. In the 2nd year after they were come in Jewry and Jerusalem, and they appointed the Levites from 20 years old over the works of the Most High. Then stood up Yahushua, which is J-E-S-U-S, and his sons and brethren, and Cadmiel his brother, and the sons of Mediabum, with the sons of Jodah, the son of Elidim, with their sons and brethren, all Levites, with one accord, setters forward of the business, laboring to advance the works in the house of the Most High. So the workmen built the temple of the Most High. Listen, and the priests stood arrayed in their vestments and musical instruments and trumpets. And the Levites, the sons of Ephsah, had cymbals, just musical instruments, trumpets and cymbals, and singing songs here of thanksgiving, the real thanksgiving, singing songs of thanksgiving for getting the temple back and building it back, and praising the Most High, according as David, the king of Israel, had ordained. See that? Singing songs. The songs are all songs. Singing songs and thanksgiving, and praising the Most High, according as David, that's King David, the king of Israel, had ordained. And they sung with loud voices songs to the praise of the Most High, because his mercy and glory is forever in all Israel. And all the people sounded trumpets and sounded with a loud voice, singing songs of thanksgiving unto the Most High for the rearing up of the house of the Most High. Also the priests and Levites, and of the chief of all of their families, the ancients, the older men, who had seen the former house, came to the building of this with weeping and great crying. They seen the former house. They came while it was torn down. Remember what happened? Just in case you forgot, or some of y'all just tuned it in. When it said, when Zerubbabel had won with his great sentence, saying the truth and women were the most powerful thing, he said in verse 45 of 1 Ezra, the 4th chapter, he said, thou also have vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. Edomites, y'all done a whole lot of wicked things, man. Y'all burnt down the house that we went in to serve the Most High. That's why you see the ancient men that seen the temple before the Edomites burned them down. In verse 63 of 1 Ezra, 5th chapter, also the priests and the Levites, and of the chief of their families, the ancients, the older men, who had seen the former house, came to the building of this with weeping and great crying, but many with trumpets and joy shouted with loud voice, insomuch that the trumpets might not be heard for the weeping of the people. Hear that? You know how loud the trumpets are. Come on, that's the loudest instrument in the band, the trumpet. But insomuch that the trumpets might not be heard for the weeping of the people. Crying that loud. Getting our temple back. After the Edomites done burn them down. Yet the multitude sounded marvelously, so that it was heard afar off. Wherefore, when the enemies of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin heard it, when our enemies heard this, they came to know what that noise of trumpets should mean. Remember, I gave you all the different sounds of the trumpets when we just went through the feast of the blowing of the trumpets. And they perceived that they that were of the captivity did build the temple unto the Most High power of Israel. Can't get no clearer than that. The Most High power of Israel, not anybody else. So then went to Zerubbabel and Yahushua and to the chief of the families, and said unto them, we will build together with you. For we likewise, as ye, do obey your power. He said, we're going to build with you, Because we obey the Most High, who is your power, right? And do sacrifice unto him from the days of Ahasuerus, the king of the Assyrians, who brought us hither. Then Zerubbabel and Yahushua and the chief of the families of Israel said unto them, it is not for us and you to build together in house unto the Most High power, our power. We ourselves alone will build unto the Most High power of Israel, according as Cyrus the king of the Persians has commanded us. But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the habitation of Judea and holding them straight, hindereth their building. Remember, they held them from building for a whole year? So they stopped them from building the temple. In the second year, under Darius, they was able to start building again. And by their secret plots, in popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived. So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years until the reign of Darius, see, as we done read here. So this is very important that we see our, like I said, a little bit of our story, our history, you see. Chapter 6. Now in the second year of the reign of Darius, Haggerus and Zacharias, the son of Iddo, the prophets, prophesied unto the Jews in Jewry and Jerusalem in the name of the Most High power of Israel, which was upon them. Then stood up Zerubbabel, the son of Salathiel, and Yahushua, the son of Zodadak, which is J-E-S-U-S, and began to build the house of the Most High at Jerusalem, the prophets of the Most High being with them and helping them. At the same time, when we said only the Israelites gonna build this, we don't need no heathen to help us do anything. That's what he just told them. When they come to help them, say, no, we don't need your help. At the same time came unto them Scythians, the governor of Syria and Phoenix, with Sarabuzans and his companions, and said unto them, by whose appointment do ye build this house and this roof, and perform all the other things? And who are the workmen that perform these things? Nevertheless, the elders of the Jews obtained favor, because the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had visited the captivity. Hear that? The Most High visited us in captivity, like we in captivity now. And he's going to visit us once again, only to deliver us for the last time. And they were not hindered from building until such time as signification was given unto Darius concerning them, and an answer received. The copy of the letters which Cineas, governor of Syria and Phoenix, and Thiomas with their companions, rulers in Syria and Phoenix, wrote and sent unto Darius, to King Darius, greeting. Now y'all forgive me for butchering all these names, man. I'm doing the best I can, but I know I'm butchering these names. So let all things be done or known unto all, to our power, the king, our master the king, that being come into the country of Judea and entered into the city of Jerusalem, we found in the city of Jerusalem the ancients of the Jews that were of the captivity, building an house unto the Most High, great and new, of hewn and costly stones, and the timber already laid upon the walls. And those works are done with great speed, and the work goeth on prosperously in their hands, and with all glory and diligence is it made. Then asked we these elders, saying, by whose commandment build ye this house, and lay the foundations of these works? This is our temple, to honor the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High power of Israel. Therefore, to the intent that we might give knowledge unto thee by writing, we demand of them who were the chief doers, and we required of them the names in writing of their principal men. So they gave us this answer: we are the servants of the Most High, which made heaven and earth. The only Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Hear what they said: we are the servants of the Most High, which made heaven and earth. And as for this house, it was built many years ago by a king of Israel, great and strong, and was finished. But when our fathers provoked the Most High in the wrath, and sinned against the Most High power of Israel, which is in heaven, he gave them over into the power of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians, of Babylon of the Chaldees, so-called Ethiopians, Hamites, who pulled down the house and burned it, and carried away the people captives unto Babylon. 70 years who was under them. But in the first year that King Cyrus reigned over the country of Babylon, Cyrus the king wrote to build up this house, and the holy vessels of gold and of silver that Nebuchadnezzar had carried away out of the house of Jerusalem, and had set them in his own temple, idol temple, because all the gods of the nations are idols. Those Cyrus the king brought forth again out of the temple at Babylon. When the Persians and Medes took down the Babylonians, this is what he did. And they were delivered to Zerubbabel and to Sennacherib the ruler, with commandment that he should carry away the same vessels and put them in the temple at Jerusalem, and that the temple of the Most High should be built in his place. Then the same Sennacherib, being come thither, laid the foundations of the house of the Most High at Jerusalem. And from that time to this, being still a building, it is not yet fully ended. Now therefore, if it seem good unto the king, let search be made among the records of King Cyrus. And if it be found that the building of the house of the Most High at Jerusalem have been done with the consent of King Cyrus, and if our master, the king, be so minded, let him signify unto us thereof. Then commanded King Darius to seek among the records at Babylon, and so at Ecbatana, the place which is in this country of Media, there was found a roll wherein these things were recorded. In the first year of the reign of Cyrus, King Cyrus commanded that the house of the Most High at Jerusalem should be built again. There it is. Remember, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and set over it the bases of men, where they do sacrifice with continual fire, whose height shall be 60 cubits, and the breadth 60 cubits, and 3 rows of hewn stones, and 1 roll of new wood of that country, and the expenses thereof to be given out of the house of King Cyrus, whatever it costs, coming out of the house of King Cyrus. And that the holy vessels of the house of the Most High, both of gold and silver, that Nebuchadnezzar took out of the house at Jerusalem and brought to Babylon, should be restored to the house at Jerusalem, and be set in the place where they were before. And also he commanded that Sisenus, the governor of Syria, and Phoenix, and Sasrabusanes and their companions, and those which were appointed rulers in Syria and Phoenix, should be careful not to meddle with the place, but suffer Zerubbabel, the servant of the Most High, the governor of Judea, and the elders of the Jews, to build the house of the Most High in that place. So Zerubbabel he had some power. He was in power. Servant of the Most High, the governor of Judea, you know. He said, and the elders of the Jews, to build the house of the Most High in that place. He said, I have commanded also to have it built up whole again, and that they look diligently to help those that be of the captivity of the Jews, till the house of the Most High be finished, and out of the tribute of Celio, Syria, and Phoenix a portion carefully to be given these men for the sacrifices of the Most High. They can continue to sacrifice. That is to Zerubbabel, the governor, for bullocks and rams and lambs, and also corn, salt, wine, and oil, and that continually every year without further question, according as the priests that be in Jerusalem shall signify to be daily spent, that offerings may be made to the Most High Power for the king and for his children, and that they may pray for their lives. See that? He asking, as we sacrifice in our temple, that they would pray for the king and his children and for their lives, knowing that we praying to the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He asking that the priest would pray for him and his children, in his household and his children, in their lives. And he commanded that whosoever should transgress, yea, or make light of anything afore spoken or written, out of his own house should be a tree be taken, and he thereof be hanged. You hear that? This is how serious this is. He say, out of his own house should a tree be taken, and he thereon be hanged. Take wood off his house, hang it up, and hang him on that tree. That wood that came from his house. And all his goods seized for the king. Everything seized out of his house and give it to the king. The master therefore, whose name is there called upon, utterly destroy every king and nation that stretches out his hand to hinder or damage that house of the Most High in Jerusalem. I, Darius the king, have ordained that according unto these things it be done with diligence. All right? So now, that's our temple. And it was built, right? So now let's go to the first book of the Maccabees. We're dealing with history tonight, a little history. Let's go to the first book of the Maccabees. Our temple is built, right? Let's look at the first book of the Maccabees. Let me just give you a little insight on something. When you go into the Bible, the Old Testament stops at Malachi, and you look, let me just show you, because generally the Bibles will have a blank page after Malachi, and then you come into the book of Matthew, right? So you see Malachi's here. See here? Malachi right here. Malachi, that's the last book of the Bible, of the Old Testament, right? Malachi. Then you turn the page, there's always a blank page right there. See? You see this blank page right there? Then it says what? What's the next page say? The New Testament, right? But this blank page right here is where we're reading at. This should be right there. That they took out of the Bible. The Protestants. And here it is right here. The first book of the Maccabees. First and second Maccabees, right? So let's read it. The temple's built. We sacrificing and having a good time as we done read, for our sins and everything. 24/7. That the fire could be kept going, that we can continue to sacrifice. We know we love barbecue, so we taking the organs of the animals and sacrificing to the Most High and so forth. That's why you're not supposed to be eating any organs, y'all. Y'all got those gizzards y'all getting ready to cook for y'all turkey and so forth. Your dressing and all that stuff is wrong, man. You're supposed to be eating no organs. That was sacrificed to the Most High. He came down with fire and took, consumed the sacrifices. We had barbecue over here with part that we could eat. So now let's go to the first book of the Maccabees, which should be right here on that blank page after Malachi. That's the Greek Empire. It should be right there. When you turn the page in the New Testament, Matthew, the first chapter, that's the Roman Empire. You see? So we still in the Old Testament dealing with this first book of Maccabees. So in the first book of Maccabees, mind you, we got the temple built. Temple's built. We're having a good time in the temple, right? That's the Persian Mede Empire, Salakia. Now we're going into the first book of the Maccabees. It says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim. This is Alexander the Greek. He came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persia and Mede. We done read about Darius all night, right? So Alexander the Greek took down Darius, who was king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, right? And made many wars. This is the first king of the so-called white man, the Edomites. You learn about him in history, in his story. He teach about him. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. He slew the kings of the earth. Alexander the Greek. That's what we talk about here. He slew the kings of the earth to set up the Greek Empire, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. That's in pride. And he gathered a mighty strongholds and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. Now we got to pay taxes. Now we got to pay tributaries to him. So-called white man. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. He reigned from 20 years old to 30 years, 32 years old. 12 years. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them, which he was when he was yet alive. His 4 generals. He parted his kingdom among them while he was alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years, from 20 years old to 32 years old, and then died. And his servants bear rule, every one in his place. That's the 4 generals that he set up, in his place. And this goes right along with Daniel's spoke of these things. It's just that if you don't know history in our story, then you won't even understand what it's talking about here. They took this out of the Bible. Is this why? And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. That's why the Most High said in Proverbs 16:4. Proverbs 16:4. The Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. As I read Job 9:24, says the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? So it say the wicked cover the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? I just flip over, there he is, everybody's them. Everybody's them in the Bible. You just turn the page, you see, well, there it is right there. Whoops, there it is. I mean, everybody's them. They cover the faces of the judges thereof. That's what they did. Earth gets in the hand of the wicked, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. You gonna prove that this is him? This is a Mashiach Yahushua, this Bible? Come on, this is all the way back to 1609, y'all. That's why I gotta be handled with care. So we in captivity. This is what we being shown, who the Most High shows you the first book, and the first picture is showing you, saying, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. So-called white man. So the Most High made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil, right? So here it is. Verse 9, and after his death, after Alexander's death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. This is what it say. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. We told a little history tonight, y'all. So he reigned in what? The 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, the kingdoms of the so-called white man, right? In those days there went out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the orders of the heathen. The Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. He told us this over and over again. You know, when he gave us the land of Israel, he said, don't learn it. He said, look what he told us. Deuteronomy 7. He gave us specific commandments. Look what the Most High said. It says, he said, verse 2, Deuteronomy 7:2, and when the Most High thy power shall deliver them, all these 7 nations greater and mightier than us, these Hamite nations that he gave us the land of Canaan, he said, and when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. He said, kill them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Why? For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. Because all the gods of the nations are idols. So would the anger of the Most High be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, everything they believe in, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee, we the Israelites, to be a special people unto himself. How special? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Hear that? So now here we are, wicked Israelites, going to the king to get a license to do the things, the ordinances of the heathen. Look what they did in following the ordinance of the heathen, like a lot of y'all do today. That's why I say a lot of y'all call yourself Israelite, but you follow the same way that we did. What did it say? In those days, in verse 11, went there out of Israel wicked men, right? What did they do? Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise. Sound like those places that y'all go work out today? Wherefore they built a place of exercise. You hear that? Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen. Now y'all think y'all doing what's right. Most I said, learn not the way of the heathen, according to the customs of the heathen. They the ones has these place of exercise and so forth. And you know, there was a lot of us in there, you know, during the Romans and the Greek Empire, they was in there butt naked, wrestling, doing all kind of madness, man. You can see it. You gonna see it. It made themselves uncircumcised. Hear that? Made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. Made themselves not to follow the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and forsook the holy contract agreement that the Most High had only with Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel, and joined themselves to the heathen and was sold to do mischief. See? Now, jump to verse 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus, I mean, you can read the whole thing, it's real wicked. Remember it said evils multiplied on the earth when they came into power? Now, over this wicked King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. What laws they got? This say the Most High showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any other nation. As for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. Psalms 147, 19 to 20. They don't know nothing about the Most High's law because he only dealing with us. Yeah, many also of the Israelites, wicked Israelites, consented to his religion, like y'all consented to these religions that they have today. His religions, you know? That's not keeping no moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, or which ones are. If thou consent. I'm asking, which one of these religions is the Baptist keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, ceremonial laws? Catholic Church? Which ones? Jehovah's Witness? Seventh-day Adventists? Which one? Church of God in Christ all your life? I mean, which one? Y'all say y'all believe in the Most High? How you believe in the Most High? You ain't doing what he say do. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion like y'all doing today. Talking about we ain't under the Most High's law. And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. Hear that? Sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. You think there's a price to pay for this? That's why the Most High said what he said when we read earlier in Obadiah, the 10th verse, they're going to be cut off forever. This is what they did. They should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings. That's in our temple. But we just went all of this night reading about under the Persian Media Empire. The so-called white man forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. You see this? And that they should profane the Sabbaths, make it unholy, and festival days. That's why y'all don't know about no Sabbath days. Y'all keep the Sabbath, talking about the Sabbath days on the first day of the week. The Most High said the seventh day of the week is the Sabbath. And you ain't following what you're supposed to do on the Sabbath anyway. And the festival days, those are Most High's feast days. You don't know about them. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Hear that? Pollute the sanctuary. The temple that we went through, all that we went through listening to tonight. To get the temple, you had those that was against us building the temple, that we had to come up with. Zerubbabel, his intelligent self, came up with an idea to be able to get the temple back. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Hear that? Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Hear that? What the Most High said in Leviticus 11 in the dietary law. Verse 7, man. Swine's flesh. They know what they're doing. And the swine, that's the pig, the hog. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you. Not only eat them, he said we ain't supposed to be touching no dead pig carcass. But what did they do here? The so-called white man when he came into power. This is the truth. Or make it mean something different. All you scholars out there, read this and make it mean something different. Look what they did. Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapel of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of unclean and profanation, unholy things, man. To the end, they might forget what? The law. The same thing that y'all saying now that you ain't under. That's why you program. Bunch of robots and robot TZ said, to the end they might forget the law. Like a lot of you don't believe in the law of the Most High. You don't fear the Most High. And change all the ordinances, all the commandments of the Most High. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. If you ain't follow his strange religion, everybody gonna be one people. That sound like a new world order to me. If you ain't follow what he said, that they should die. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people. Don't that sound familiar? Then we have overseers over us in captivity, slavery, and bondage here in America. Commanded the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one of that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. I'm gonna read that to you again, because a lot of y'all think y'all gonna still make it, and y'all forsaking the Most High's laws. But what it say here? Every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. So you forsake the Most High's law, you're gonna commit evils in the land. The Most High gonna get you. As it is written. He said, I'm gonna melt you. As it is written. He said, the anger of the Most High came upon him and said, I'm gonna melt you. Ooh. It's a fearful thing to fall into that consuming fire of the Most High. And drove the Israelites to the secret places. We went into catacombs, even wheresoever they could flee for security. Secure means security. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, which is the Esau's 12th month, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. So we had our temple. We had our temples that we can go and worship and so forth that the Edomites burnt down. We had them built again under the Persian Medo Empire. But you see what the Greeks coming into power doing to our temple? Man, it goes on and on and on. The things that they've done that's totally against the Most High. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, when salvation, powers, and authorities coming on this earth, they're going to say, we weird ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through deserts where they lay no way, but as for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. You see what they're saying right here? Show me where they're going to know the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua until the end, if thou canst. You see what they're doing? We went through all of that. We done went through all this night to show us how we had to go through all those changes of people not wanting us to build a temple, hating that we built the temple, calling us rebellious against everybody, confronting the king. Cyrus had said, build the temple, have us stop building the temple for a whole year. Then Darius came in and Zerubbabel had the intelligence to say, let's write a sentence to say what's the powerful. And he won the victory, so we got a chance to build the temple. That's what he asked for. He didn't care about what the king was going to give him. Hey, man, look. Cyrus said that we going to build the temple. He wrote that we're going to build a temple. So our temple is built. You see, we was having a great time, in with merrying, music, having instruments, partying, having a good time, having a feast, festival days and all of that, new moons, all of that. Here come the Greeks in power. What the Most High said. The Most High created all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. And here they are. We read about it. All that we went through to get the temples built, and here they come. Remember, they wearied themselves in a way of what? Wickedness and what? Destruction. Check it out. First Maccabees 1 and 53 again. And drove the Israelites into secret places. These are catacombs. Even wheresoever they could flee toward security. Into these catacombs. That's what the Vatican have. About 600 miles underground, man. Living totally underground. Burial, having places where we worship and all that. Underground. And drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for secure. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, the 12th month, on the 15th day of Esau's calendar, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judea or Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law. Remember we read in Nehemiah? People came, street teaching, they wanted to hear the reading of the law. So the Edomites, the so-called white men, rent in pieces the books of the law. Remember? Verse 41, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Everyone should leave his laws. So what did they do? Verse 56, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, what did they do with the law of the Most High? Which they found, they burnt them with fire. That's why they not going to follow no laws of the Most High. They burnt the law of the Most High with fire. And whensoever was found with any the book of the testament, anybody found with the book of the law, or if any consented to the law, you consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. That's what the Edomites ordained. If you keep the law of the Most High, you found with the testament of the Most High, his law, put them to death. As it is written. Make it mean something different. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now, Christmas that y'all celebrate, now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. But remember, they sacrificing swine and everything unclean thing that they could do to defile our temple. Make it abominable. That's why I call it abomination of desolation. This is the 25th day of the month, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. So this 25th day y'all call Christmas, they killed the women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Understand this, circumcised is not just circumcised of the flesh. Circumcised is those women that taught their babies the law of the Most High, how to deal as an Israelite, instead of following King wicked Antiochus, this Edomite's rules and regulations, believe our laws that the Most High gave us and follow his strange laws. What they do. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. Listen, and they hanged the infants about their necks. That's why you got them little bulbs on the Christmas trees, representing our infants that they hung around their neck and put their heads on them trees. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them, even in the flesh. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled, hear this, with meats, swine, and all the abominable things that Most High said we can't eat. And that they might not profane the holy covenant, the laws of the Most High. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. So now, when you go into chapter 2, Mattathias and Judas Maccabees and his brothers raising up to deal with the condition that we in. Now, you had Israelites that was in seclusion, and they wouldn't fight on the Sabbath. So we're going to look at First Maccabees 2. Let's look at